My name is Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers. That's the name that I have to use. That's not my real name. This is why I'm showing you this, and I've done a lot of videos, especially I did some this morning that explains what's happened to me. I'm 75 years old, and I'm allergic to some chemicals. And when I'm put in a room where they're force-fed to me, and that's what's been happening, it's inhaling the chemicals that get you. My immune system, I have a disorder, and I was told by one doctor that it could be life-threatening. I could choke, etc., etc. Now then, I want to read this. The other thing is it causes inflammation. When you inhale it, you have to get away from it. And if it's where you live, like an apartment or a motel room or whatever, if the threat exists there and you're inhaling it, you either have to get away from it or you suffer the consequences. And I've been made, this is no joke and this is no lie. It's because of me running in a political campaign and writing a book and my kidnapping and who I am, that they've done this. Since '86, it's been orchestrated. When I was allowed to have a place to live and had the money to pay, I would go in, and I've put this on previous tapes. I would go in like Joseph's Dream. It's a Section 8, by the way, in Bedford, Virginia, next door to me. I went in on July the 1st of 11, and the minute I got in, the air conditioning went out. And then it was a brand new unit, so all these were brand new. And I'm just giving you an example. And then where the air conditioning was housed in a closet kind of like that one, they had leaks. Nobody had lived there, brand new. Had leaks there and mold and mildew all around it. And they said they didn't have the money to fix it. It's owned by a black reverend out of Washington, North Carolina, Mower and Associates. By the way, you'd have to get all these people that have been management and owners before a court of law because they entered into a conspiracy to assault with intent. Now then, they all knew, and they were told to do it. The law enforcement gets things on people, either their kids. Everybody's got something to hide, let me say that. So in return for doing the things to me, they'll drop charges, etc., etc. So I want to read, this is Debbie McKay is the manager, and Beth, or Elizabeth, I get that she said that was her name, is housekeeper, maid. Now then, May the 14th, she came by, that was last Tuesday, knocked at the door and told me I had to leave that Thursday. Last Thursday I was paid. And I said, well, I have nowhere to go. And she said, well, you can stay another week, but you have to be out then. And I want to read you, I asked for this. It's only been shoved through the door this morning by her. And it's typed out May the 14th, 2014 on the letterhead. So I don't know why a letter took so long to get to me. But here's what she says. Dear Miss Childers, Unit 115. By the way, they moved me from a unit when I moved in on April the 3rd of this year. I moved in, and the unit I moved into was $270, and I really couldn't afford it. So I lived there, and by the way, I got shingles after I came here, which is because in part, well, I'm 75 years old, but in part because my immune system's so low from having to, over the years, being force-fed the chemicals. And I've lived at corporate suites before, affordable, and I've put all this on here. But anyway, I had to call, see the doctor about the shingles. Now then, being force-fed them, I can't get well from it. So anyway, they say that, well, I'll read it to you in a minute. I moved in here, and I paid 2 weeks' rent at this 104, And she had 115 where I'm at now is a studio. And she had it coming available. She said that the person lived here 2 years and wasn't coming back. So she said I could have it, but here's what she said to me, and then I want you to read the letter, because this is ongoing, what they've done to me, and nobody will touch it, not an attorney. You have to have an attorney to go in, and then you'd see what they're doing. But anyway, that hasn't happened yet. But she comes to me, and a friend, I guess he's a friend, Terry Sawyer, was in there, and she said when she knocked on the door, she said, well, we want to rent this, the one that I was in that cost that much. And that was, and she says, well, you can move in 115. But she had said that I couldn't move into it. She had said prior I couldn't move into it because the person lived here 2 years. And they had to come in and make sure that everything was all right, the carpet, all of it, cleaning it and make sure it was all right. So she said they were going to clean the carpet, and all this had to be done before I moved in. Well, she come in this day and tells me that she wants to rent the 104 that costs that much, and that would mean I had to move into this one or I would lose it. So take note of what she just said to me. So I told her, I said, well, I can't let you shampoo. She said they were having, and listen to this, annual carpet cleaning. All right. Now then, I told her I didn't know what they used. If it was just steam, that might be okay, but I didn't know. So I told her they couldn't clean the carpet. Well, that was supposed to have been done before I moved in. Everything was. So here now she wants me to move in, and I moved out 2 days early, which I had 2 nights if we're going to get technical, in the room that cost a lot more, and I moved in here. And I asked her for the difference, would that be applied, and she said no, that the corporate office would just take it down to single days rather than the week, and I would end up owing. So here's what she said. She says, Dear Miss Childers, and this was on May the 14th, 2014. And she says, as our conversation, you stated that cleaning supplies we used were detrimental to your health and could cause a life-threatening situation because you have an immune deficiency. Well, it wasn't quite the way I put it, but when I come in, as I always do, and I put on prior tapes that I'm allergic to chemicals, and it causes inflammation, and it can cause me to pass out, etc. All she had to do, I offered to get, after I found out that it was making me so sick, I don't know what all they put in here. They lied about that. I don't react like that to what they said they put in here. So anyway, this is not like would be done to a normal person. This is political because you have an immune deficiency. We are unable to comply with your request to change the supplies we use, forego the monthly exterminating, and not clean the carpet and upholstery when scheduled. Well, first of all, when I came in and paid April the 3rd and moved in to the other one that was expensive, that very afternoon I moved in, the exterminator came and knocked at the door. And I thought, oh, God, to myself. I opened the door for him to come in, and he stepped inside, and he asked me, was it okay to come in and spray? I said, well, I'm allergic to it. Do I have to? And he said, well, no. And if anybody wants to give a lie detector on any of this, come on. So anyway, he left. Now then, when I moved into this one, he showed up the end of last month, and the same thing happened. I let him in, and he said, do you want me to spray? And I said, do you have to? And he said, no, not if you don't want it. So he backed out and left. So they were never told that they couldn't come into the apartment. The only thing I asked was, since it made me so sick, whatever they were using, and they actually get down on their hands and knees and with something on the tile, on the floor, and in the bathrooms, etc. So anyway, and it makes me so sick I can't stand what